the floater jump shot. So I just knew I had to try to get into his legs, beat him to his spot before he got too deep. They lobbed it in the angle where I thought I could break contact a little bit and get a hand on it, and was able to.
Bud mentioned, like, you guys weren't really switching that action a ton tonight. That was just in that moment. Is that kind of reflecting on, like, oh, I remember when we were switching in Phoenix, like how you have to defend it? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, a little bit, but this is just something we've been doing for years, even since Bud has been here. Just a late red when you realize you can't get back to the ball handler, you have to veer off and pick up the big rolling. Once I seen Giannis step up, that means I had to go get cover for him. I was just able to get a steal.
Just for you, in the fourth quarter, you see Giannis with the 5 fouls. You know, you're going to have to kind of step up a little bit. What's your mindset? And then kind of what were you seeing with the spots you're getting to tonight?
It was just more of a flow, just playing out of pick and roll, realizing that, you know, I was getting a lot of great looks. I was able to hit open guys that they trapped or, you know, get to my spots and then, you know, make a play or take a shot from there. So it was all about, you know, just slowing down a little bit in the half court, let everybody get space and set up, and then head into a pick and roll for the most part.
Over the years, we've asked people about what it's like to watch you put on a fourth quarter show. Drew's done it the last 2 games. What is it like for you to kind of watch Drew take over in those moments?
Man, he takes so much pressure off, you know, myself and Giannis, that we don't have to kill ourselves, take tough shots. We can count on Drew to, you know, do what he does, break down the defense, get into the paint, or hit some big threes tonight. I mean, he's been really shooting the ball well for us since he's been here. So he does so many things for us on both sides of the ball that, you know, people forget about his offensive skill set a lot also.
I'm sure you prefer to talk about Drew than yourself, but after all the basketball you played, Kris, what does it feel like to still get into a zone when you do that, even at this level as a shooter like yourself?
It's fun. I mean, you know, I think scorers and shooters always want to shoot, you know, every time they're out there. Even when they don't get the ball, they feel like they're open. But, you know, it's just, you know, the work that we put in, that I put in over the years to have confidence to shoot some of those shots that I work on every day in practice, before and after some. So when you see those shots going in, you just think about to those hours that you spent trying to perfect that move, perfect that shot.
Anything change for you coming out of the break, or kind of just how are you feeling, and why do you think you kind of just been playing as well as you have?
It's just, you know, trying to lock in a little bit better. You know, we spoke on it, you know, multiple times in the past where we've had these lapses and whatnot. And it's just trying to be dialed in and trying to be your best self, you know, for 48 minutes out there. I think that's all it is.
And then this week, y'all have closed out some tight games against some pretty good teams. Just kind of what do you take away from the way y'all have been able to close out these wins, or maybe what have you learned about your team this week?
That we're just learning from our mistakes. You know, attention to detail has to be high at this point in the year to advance and get where you want to get. So we realize we have to be more dialed in. We can't afford to have lapses, some simple mistakes that, you know, can cost us games, because we know we've seen it before. You take a possession off or you make one mistake late in the game, it can end up costing you.
Kris, what kind of lift did Serge and Jordan give you guys at the end of the third there to sort of stay connected?
They were huge, you know, even all night. You know, Serge, he's always in the huddle on the court talking about spacing, you know, different type of coverages, what guys like to do. So we have a veteran player like that knows how to play. You're comfortable trusting him about what he's saying and trusting him whenever he's out there. And then Jordan tonight, he was huge, you know, not in the third quarter, but he's spoken, I think, closing the fourth quarter in the big game, which he hasn't really done yet in his career. It just shows that the confidence that Bud has in him. We've always had that confidence. We talk to him. We know what he can do. But tonight he was huge on both ends, you know, extra possessions, great defense, hit some big shots, drove the ball, made some nice plays. So he's a guy that, you know, we hope he could keep doing what he's doing.
We talked a lot about the finals rematch, but in the context of that aside, how fun is it to be in a game where both teams are going shot for shot? I think you both had 54% from the field, 46 or something from 3 in the fourth quarter like that, going down to the wire.
It's fun. It's fun to, you know, compete against the best. I mean, you know, that's really all I can say. It's a fun matchup, whatever, you know, who's the opposing team. They're a great team. They got great players. We feel like we have great players and a great team also. So just to go against one another, battle it out, you know, compete at a high level, I think that's just what makes it fun.
You talked about these last 3 games playing against top teams and winning all the games. It showed how you're learning from your mistakes, attention to detail, and so forth. But why do you think y'all have been so effective down the stretch of these games, whether it be Miami or tonight 12-1 the last few minutes?
It's just watching film, learning, where we had our lapses at, where we dropped the ball, where we could be better at what works. So, I mean, when you lose some of those games, you have to go back and watch the film, even when you win. But it was a huge emphasis on, the way we lost some of those games, that we have to be better.
Jim on Zoom.
Hi, Kris. Kris, just on that sort of fourth quarter, Cameron Payne and DA for the first 3 quarters were really explosive, but you seem to really get a grips to them, and really Drew really locked down on Cameron, and you really got a grips on DA as well in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, those guys, they were in their pick and roll to perfection pretty much, with Payne getting into the lane, hitting his floaters or dumping off to DA. Even when Drew went under a couple of times, he was able to knock down the 3. Late in that fourth, though, Drew was able to, find a way to navigate those screens, which he does so well. And I was able to eliminate, those floaters and, DA getting easy looks in the paint.